Now to an update on yesterday's hearing between the Amherst-Pelham Regional School District and Delinda Dykes, a middle school counselor. A judge heard arguments yesterday on Dykes' motion as well as the employer's competing motion. The judge did not make a decision at the hearing and instead will make a decision in the near future. Back in 2023, Dykes was let go from Amherst Regional Middle School following a Title IX case investigation. The investigation involved how staff handled LGBTQ+ bullying with allegations including misgendering students. Dykes was reinstated back in July, but the school district quickly filed a complaint to reverse that ruling.